When people look at me and my political legacy, I want them to look at it and just know that I voted every single vote with my conscience. Whether or not they agreed or disagreed with my votes, that they know that I voted the way I did because I genuinely believed at the time it was the right thing to do. And I think that people realize that I'm just their neighbor, down there to do as much good as I possibly can, and when I feel as though I've been ineffective or I'm not doing the right thing for them, time for me to move on and let somebody else in the game. I have a diverse background myself. I was in the military, I have a family, I have a business. So I think I'm uniquely able to look at things from a bunch of different angles that some other people may not be able to see. My two grandfathers were both military men, both served in the Korean War. I always looked up to them and admired them for the fact that they were in the military. So that, along with the Gulf War, which was happening right in the throes of my childhood, really got me interested in being part of the military. So that guided me ultimately to eventually go to West Point. So I went to West Point when I was 17. I owe everything to West Point. Within 5 weeks, I was a totally different person. And fast forward 4 years later, it completely transformed who I was. Made me a better person, made me have a real strong commitment to service. It made me into a good leader who understands how to take people and motivate them to accomplish great things for themselves. When we had our Acceptance Day parade, it rained on us. There is a folklore that says that if it rains on your Acceptance Day parade, you're going to war. And ultimately, that turned out to be true. Our class became the class that was in training as brand new lieutenants, ready to go to war after September 11th. I went to Iraq in 2005, and I wanted to go and do the job that I was meant to do. But war changed me. Anybody who has been to war will be the biggest advocate against war. I feel like our mission there was important. I feel like we did a lot of great things, but I lost a lot of friends on the battlefield. I consider myself lucky to have had the opportunity to fly the Apache and to be part of that Apache community whose mission was to defend our soldiers on the ground. The biggest lesson that I took out of my time in service in the military is that it's just so important to be a caring leader. That's the most important thing. That it's about dialing in on that person and delivering for them to make them the best possible person they could be. I apply that in my life, I apply that in business, and now I apply it in politics. If you want to be the leader of character, you have to address every issue for every person like it's the most important thing you have going on. When I first decided to run for office, we didn't know what to expect, to be quite frank. It was a way for me to fill this void and this desire to continue to serve people. Now, in hindsight, if you ask my wife, what's it like to have somebody running for office? She'll bring up all the late nights and the crazy campaign season. But you know what? Beyond all that, it's been a really awesome experience. Despite all the tough things that do happen, I think if we look back and boil it down to the effect it's had on teaching my kids what's important, we'd all be very happy.